Hello there. So, bragging is a big part of the work I do, and we've been talking about it this week in my creative magic workout. So, I thought I'd open it up to a bigger discussion. Um, if you're doing any kind of creative work, by which I mean living life as a vulnerable, expressive human being, there are so many opportunities for rejection, and there are not that many platforms for building you up and celebrating what you've done and how you've grown. And that's one reason I think it's essential to cultivate a healthy ability to brag about yourself and brag about your own work. But there's a fear that comes up. There's a lot of fears, but one of the big ones is um, the fear that if you brag, you're going to push people away or turn them off in some way. I think so many of us associate bragging with a kind of aggression, a kind of person who can't stop talking about themselves, or who goes on and on at a party, or is trying to sell you something, or is desperate for your attention. The fear is that when we brag, we're pushing people away and pushing them out. So that's the fear. And to me, the question is, what if we could see bragging as a way of connection, as an invitation, a way to bring people in? What if we can? Is there a way to talk about our strengths and triumphs in a way that draws people in? I think there is, and I think of it as approaching bragging as a bridge versus a wall. So a wall. The purpose of a wall is to divide. It keeps some people out and some people in. It projects an image of strength, but often that image is a fake out, a facade, a lie to hide behind while you lob flaming arrows, or drape banners, advertising what's behind the wall. The idea is to keep people out and to keep them from finding out the truth. Now, a bridge, on the other hand, says, welcome, come on over and see for yourself. There's room for you here. I am open to you being here. I want to help you cross over anything that might divide us. I want to provide a path for you to find me. And that's a different kind of confidence. That's a confidence that's not about lying. It's about being totally transparent and comfortable with people coming over and seeing for themselves. And I think when you brag like that, it's infectious. And it's not threatening. It's welcoming, and it encourages other people to open up and talk about their own strengths. So how does this play out in real life bragging? Well, I thought I'd give you an example from my life from this week. Week I realized that over the last year I've gotten much better at I've figured out how to get my 3.5-year-old up and fed and dressed and cleaned up and out the door on time to school. That's been a big journey, and I've done it. Now, if I gave you the wall version of that brag, the wall version would be to inflate it, to project something bigger and better, just a little, even if it's just a little bit. The wall version would be to say, hey, I get my son out the door and to preschool on time every single morning with no problem because I'm a badass. It's easy for me. That would be a way of projecting something that's got an element of truth, but it's a little bit bigger. And that's not necessarily bad. The problem is when I have a hard day, like I did yesterday, the reality inserts itself, and a brag like that can actually set up an unrealistic expectation and make me feel worse, and I can only imagine how it makes other people feel, because the reality is some mornings I'm not. Some mornings it's more of a struggle than others. Some mornings I haven't figured it out. So if you've got a wall version, that is a threat. That kind of reality is a threat. Whereas if I give a bridge version of that brag, that really asks the question of how can I be confident and strong within the circumstances exactly as they are, within my lived reality. It's also totally okay in that way of thinking of a brag to have the brag change, as I change, as my circumstances change, and that's not a problem. So if I was going to give a bridge version of that brag, I would say it's really hard to get my kid out the door on time, but you know what? I day in, day out, I'm doing it. Even when it seems impossible, I find a way to make it possible. Even when I fail to get him on time, I'm getting him out the door, and I'm doing it, and I'm learning, and I'm growing, and you know what? I've gotten a lot better at it over the last year. Now that's true. That's my reality. That's showing you a journey. It's showing you what's hard about it for me, and it's showing you what my real strength is. And you know what? It also makes me feel better. It makes me see my own strength in a challenging situation, and it helps me to take a deep breath and go, yeah, hey, yeah, this is hard. This is challenging. But you know what? Here is what I can brag about, and that's makes me feel stronger. So, and that's really what it comes down to, right? I think in the end, that's you're trying to build a bridge to yourself, and when you build that bridge to yourself, I think, it opens you up to seeing how other people's strengths, and it encourages other people to cross that bridge and come over into your world. So, and that's what we're all trying to do, right? Is create a strong community of love and support. I don't know if we're all trying to do that, but I am, and I think a lot of people are, and those are the kind of people I want to be connecting with. So I hope this helped. I'm Faith Helma. I'm a creative guide. That means I work with people to use creative tools to help them live lives of excitement and joy and growth and strength and stuff like that. So I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can find something to brag about. Okay. Over and out.